Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. My name is Reski Aprilia with student number B1A1233163 and my partner.
My name is Saharani with student number B1A1233161.
Today we'll discuss a compelling yet concerning agrarian law case that highlights the complexity of disputes between the government and indigenous communities. This case revolves around a land conflict at the current location of the governor's office in Jambi, Indonesia.
That's right, this case involves the communal land of the Batin tribe, which has been under dispute for decades. Despite a court ruling in favor of the indigenous community back in 2005, the issue remains unresolved in 2024. In this discussion, we'll explore the background, legal proceedings, and challenges that make resolving this case so difficult.
This dispute began in 1987 when the government forcibly acquired the communal land of the Batin tribe without their consent. This land is located in Kelurahan Planaipura, Kecamatan Planaipura, Kota Jambi, and spans approximately 10 hectares.
The acquisition was carried out under the pretext of developing government facilities, specifically the governor's office. However, no adequate compensation was provided to indigenous community, and their rights were completely ignored.
It's important to understand that communal land or ulayat land is collectively owned and managed by the indigenous communities based on their customary law. The forced acquisitions violated this customary law and set the stage for a prolonged legal conflict.
The Batin tribe did not remain silent. They filed a lawsuit against the government, and in 2005, the Jambi High Court ruled in their favor through decision number 44 PDT 2005, declaring the land acquisition invalid.
However, despite this favorable ruling, no concrete action has been taken to execute the court decisions as of 2024. The governor's office continues to occupy the disputed land, raising serious questions about the enforcement of agrarian law in Indonesia.
One major issue is the weak implementation of land-related court decisions in the region. Additionally, the relationship between the local government and indigenous communities remains strained, and the government often prioritizes development interests over the rights of indigenous people.
The strained relationship between the government and indigenous communities complicates this case further. The government has failed to engage in meaningful dialogue with the affected community to find a resolution.
Political interests also play a significant role. The disputed land is considered strategically important, and the government appears reluctant to make decisions that might weaken its authority.
Furthermore, there's a lack of political will to address this issue comprehensively. Resolving the case might set a precedent for similar disputes, which the government seems eager to avoid.
Bureaucratic inefficiency is another obstacle. The complexity of administrative procedures often delays or even hinders efforts to resolve land disputes.
At its core, this conflict stems from the neglect of indigenous rights. The government's land acquisitions process disregard the principles of social justice and fail to provide adequate compensations.
Development should never come at the expense of fundamental human rights. In this case, the government used the pretext of development to justify actions that ultimately marginalized the Batin tribe.
For the Batin tribe, the loss of their land represents not just a physical displacement, but also a loss of cultural identity and livelihood. This highlights the vulnerability of indigenous communities in conflicts with powerful state institutions.
As of now, the governor's office continues to stand on the disputed land. The Batin tribe persists in their legal struggle, but their position is weak due to economic and political disadvantages.
The local government has yet to take any meaningful steps to resolve the conflict. This underscores the lack of commitment to agrarian justice in Indonesia, particularly when indigenous rights are at stake. Several steps can be taken to address this issue. First, The government must demonstrate a strong commitment to resolving the conflict fairly and transparently.
Second, dialogue between the government and indigenous community is essential. Negotiations must respect the rights and perspectives of all parties involved.
Legal and human rights organizations should also play a more active role in advocating for the Batin Tribe. Enforcing the 2005 court ruling is a critical step toward justice.
Finally, the government should integrate customary law into the national legal framework to prevent similar conflicts in the future. Recognizing and respecting indigenous legal systems is key to achieving sustainable development and social harmony.
In conclusion, this case highlights the urgent need for agrarian justice in Indonesia. Protecting the rights of indigenous communities isn't only a legal obligation, but also a moral imperative.
We hope that this discussion sheds light on the challenges of land disputes in Indonesia and encourages stakeholders to work toward a fair and lasting resolution.
I think that's all from us.
Thank you for your attention. The last
The
we
last we
say,
say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.